This is how I spent 3 weeks in Sri Lanka. My first stop was Badulla. So I took the express train from Colombo to Badulla. The trip itself was fine. I was mostly asleep because the jet lag caught up to me. My parents had a house in Lunugala, which is a small village in Badulla. It was great being back in Badulla. It brought back like so many childhood memories. For like my first 13 years of my life, I spent time in Lunugala. Like every couple of months, we would come visit. We would run around in the village, swim in the river at least once, and then play at a nearby school. So while I was there, a family friend was having this Buddhist ceremony. I got invited as well. So I went there, and then I saw people I haven't seen in about 15 years. Like a funny story is like my aunt just walked past me without even recognizing me. The house the Buddhist ceremony was happening is also close to a waterfall. So, my dad took me there on his scooter, which was pleasant as well. My next stop was Hambantota. My parents and I had a day free where we weren't doing anything, so we decided to rent a vehicle and drive 3 hours down south to Hambantota to meet up with my brother's in-laws. This was my first time driving in Sri Lanka. Like, you need so much concentration when driving in Sri Lanka. Like the tuk-tuks, buses, trucks, and motorcycles, they all have their own speed limits. So you're constantly trying to overtake them. Then you also have to look out for the dogs that decided sleeping in the middle of the road is the best place to sleep. And there are no sidewalks, so you have to look out for people that are walking on the road as well. We made it down there. We met up with my brother's in-laws family. We went to the beach. The beach that day was extremely strong, so we only swam in like the first 5 feet of water. It was just a really nice day catching up with my brother's in-laws. Our next stop was Pasikuda. Now, a family friend invited us to come over to the hotel they are staying at. So we took a 2.5 hour tuk-tuk ride all the way down to Pasikuda. It wasn't a bad ride, tuk-tuks are pretty comfortable. While we were there, it was mostly, playing volleyball, hanging out in the pool, and then once we got bored with the pool, we would go down to the beach, and then once we got bored with the beach, we went down to the pool again and then played more volleyball. It was mostly just a lovely time catching up with people. Then we made our way down to Kandy. It was a long, windy road. We arrived around midnight at Kandy at our aunt's place. The next day, I tried to fit in as many things as possible. I went to all the popular temples. Went to this old prison. And then I walked around the Kandy Lake, which could be a pond as well. Next day, we decided to go to Damole, which is just a midway stop before heading all the way down to Jaffna. To get to Damole, we took the bus, and then in the afternoon, we visited this temple. And then in the evening, I took a bus to where Sigiriya is, and then I took a short hike to a point where it's a lookout to see Sigiriya. The next day, we finally reached Jaffna. The first thing I noticed was the heat. 10 minutes of walking, you're soaked in sweat. The very first day we explored the fort. We didn't have much time that day, so then we came back to the hotel, and then the next day we visited this Hindu temple. A weird thing about the Hindu temple is that you had to take off your shirt when you go inside the building. Then we decided we had enough of the Jaffna heat, so we took the train back to Colombo, which is like a 10-hour train. And the bad part about this ride is that we did not get a seat on the train, and the train was packed. I stood for almost 10 hours straight, apart from like 1 hour where I decided to just sit on the exit. While I was in Colombo, a family friend offered to show me around. The first stop was Pitakaduwa. It's a really great place to buy cheap Chinese products, and if you want to practice your bargaining skills, that's the place to go. Next stop was Port City. Now, Port City is a modern part of the city, but it is expensive. But it does have a nice beach. Our last stop was the National Museum. It's a nice way to escape the heat. Our next stop was Sirupade. Now, it is a really famous place to go hike. Back when we were in Sri Lanka, every couple of years we would go, do this hike. It is famous for having, I believe it's like the Buddha's footstep. So that's why like a lot of people go hike it and then they worship it. I managed to go up and then come back down in about 2 hours. But one thing I realized was like a lot of the aunties, the local aunties, were grinding their way up there, and most people usually take about 4 to 5 hours to get up there. Next stop is Holtham Plain, which is a national park in Sri Lanka. The day we went there, it was really misty. So we couldn't really see like the viewpoints that great, but the hike was still enjoyable. And it is a pretty easy hike, so pretty much anyone can do this hike. Well, that's it for the video. It was great catching up with family and family friends. There was like a lot of childhood memories that came back to me, and it was nice seeing Sri Lanka as an adult again. I'm glad that I went back, and thank you for watching.